Hi, I am Kajer on Two Wheels, and on this lovely day, I'm here to test ride the lovely Benelli Leoncino 500. So, Benelli is the Italian brand, the new coming or recoming Italian brand with motorcycles that are made in China but are quality controlled in Europe, and this is their 500 range. So on a quick front to back, I'm not going to lean down because, well, water. You have your normal road tires, 120, 160 at the rear, nothing unusual about that. You have Benelli brakes, Benelli branded brakes. Double disc brakes at the front, inverted, really fat suspension. This is a really big suspension. I can't even get my hand around it. It's so big. You've got this little detail, but for this one I will bend over. A little lion. By the way, Leoncino is Italian for little lion. Then you have your full headlamps, full LED headlamps. Let's start her up just so you can see the headlamps. Where's the button? Why can't I start it up? Sorry. Here we go. Low beams. That's the low beam with a very cool pattern, which you can't see. And the high beam is this big one. Pretty strong, pretty cool. I like LED headlamps quite a lot. You've got your LED indicators. You have a 500cc engine developing the 48 horsepower for the A2 license. A2 license actually. Your rear suspension is adjustable via this. Foot pegs with a little rubber on it. Nice and grippy. Cool looking exhaust. The whole bike is very cool looking. Let me just turn this on, because the rear on the bike is gorgeous. The tank is supposed to be fully red. They just put on these black stickers with their logo and saying test drive, because it's supposed to be fully cherry red. Just look at this rear headlamp. It looks gorgeous. And you've got your license plate on a little side mount, which I enjoy quite a lot. The whole bike looks very good. It's relatively short, not very short. It looks shorter than it actually is, because the seat is wide, so it's not quite as short as it looks. And you've got a very minimalistic dash with a rev counter, an odometer, temp, and that's it. There's no onboard computer, but the front suspension seems to be adjustable on something. The rest of the controls are all the usual stuff you're supposed to find. Tuk 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 tuk. So yeah, that's it. Let's see how she goes, but this weather, let's fix this weather, shall we? Here we are, the test track. Full throttle. It feels as it should for a 48 horsepower or class A2 bike, for the A2 license bike. In case you don't know, A2 is the second stage of the motorcycle licensing in Europe, where you can ride any bike as long as it has less than 48 horsepower. That's basically it. So there's a whole slew of new bikes that have exactly that 48 horsepower. This has 47.5. I think the actual maximum is 47.8 horsepower or something like that. So this feels like it's got that power. It's fast, plenty fast for fun, but perfectly fine for beginners. The class A2 is for when you're between 18 and 24, at least I think that's the Portuguese law. Between 18 and 24, and with less than 2 years experience with the previous license. So once you get 2 years of license, of A2 license, you can get the unlimited, the unrestricted license for all bikes, but you have to pass through a 2-year period with 48 horsepower bikes, which makes sense. So this is another offering for that. And the engine is, well, it's an A2 engine. Doesn't feel particularly spiffy, but I don't really have a comparison. The only comparison I have is with the fire-breathing Tracer 700s, so I can't really compare it. I have to ride another 48 horsepower engine, something like a CB500 back-to-back, to be able to say if this is faster or not, but it feels normal, doesn't feel slow, which is good. Has power to overtake cars where you shouldn't really be overtaking, so I guess that's a pass. And I'm not even using the lower gears. That was a 3rd gear overtake with no need and no feel for the need to reach into 2nd gear for the high revs. The engine's also very smooth. It's always the same power delivery. It's very linear. Not that an engine this size would have that much leeway to be very spiky, but it's always the same. Now, brakes are nice. These brakes should be on the TRK, not on this one. Shoot. I think I'm gonna have to abort this, go back and do it again, because this is going to be horrible. Yeah, I'm going to abort. Okay, let's try again. Full throttle. Full brakes. ABS does allow for a little squeak. Feels good cornering. It's not supposed to be a sport bike, and you feel that it's not supposed to be a sport bike. The steering is very light on cornering. It's not quite planted. Any kind of little nudge and it moves around a little bit. But it's not really meant to do this now, is it? Yep. Any kind of little input and it shifts direction immediately, so it's a bit nervous on cornering. The tires though are great. They're Angel STs, so I was expecting that. Just close well. Suspension also makes it very stable, but this is due to some kind of geometry thing. The geometry tune of this makes it very nervous on cornering, so you have to be attentive to what you're doing to the handlebars. The input is important. Then again, this is not a bike to do this on. This is not what this bike is for. This is a generic slow ride, relaxed ride kind of bike. It's not a sport bike. But like all bikes, it does that. It's fun, that. But it's really not what it's meant for. It's meant more for this. And for this slightly more sedate pace, great. The handlebars are light, so it's easy to shift direction effortlessly. Did I hear someone now? It's easy to shift direction effortlessly and take in the view. Like so. For that, the naked bike is just superior. There's nothing in front of me, so it's only me and the scenery. Let's go down. This is not what this bike is for. Again. But up to these speeds and aggressiveness, this works. And it's plenty fast enough for you to overtake cars when you're doing your own pace and the cars are doing their own pace, which is generally way too slow. See how well it works? So this is one of those very medium bikes for your medium rider which only has his A2 class license and doesn't really need anything bigger. 48 horsepower, light, nimble, a city bike basically. It can go onto the twisties for some fun, but it's not perfect. It can do a bit of everything, like all bikes do, but it's, all in all, it's a nice little pretty, very pretty city bike. But it's not like the TRK where overtaking is always core. This one, it has enough power for you to overtake whenever and wherever you want. I'm not sure if this is the same engine as a TRK. It probably is, and the difference is the weight. Because, well, under some things it feels a lot like the TRK. For example, the unaggressiveness of the engine, the way it's so linear, where every single rev part of it is exactly like every single other rev. So there's no spikes, there's no excitement, there's no sudden whoomp from the engine. It's always very linear, very stable, very predictable, which is kind of what is the point for this particular bike, and for the, under some respects, for the TRK too. But it responds miles better. So I would guess that it's the same engine, but this bike is just so much lighter that this time the engine can do what it's supposed to be doing. It's just the massive weight, the massive mass difference that makes this completely different. It's very, very likely that it's that. I also enjoy quite a lot of this exhaust note. It just sounds very hoarse. In fact, this is a lion theme bike. Hang on. The engine has that deep throaty roar that a lion has. It has a little lion at the front. The name means little lion in Italian. And just like lions, it is built more for show than for actual function. Remember, lions don't hunt. They only have that mane to impress the females, and they only exist to fight with other males, and that's it. So this is a bit of that. Yeah, a lion theme bike. Cool. Ugh. Come on guys, 40 kph here. Seriously. Okay, granted this is an easy stroll bike, but come on, I can almost run this fast. I'm sorry. It's too slow. Shant. Is everyone so distracted today? Why? Come on. What a sight. Brakes. Oh, hang on a bloody moment. I forgot to mention one thing. This bike is very, very nervous under braking. When you brake hard, and the higher you are going, the worse it is, and especially if you're slightly leaned over. I'm going to show you. Let's go fast and brake here. Brake hard. 3, 2, 1, brake. I did not turn. That was the bike doing it itself. Did you notice how it went left, right, left? When the weight transfers to the front, the rear just goes everywhere, just starts dancing. So there's that. Again, this is not a sports bike, and you can really see and feel that it's not a sports bike. When braking, it gets unstable. Fortunately, the ABS is here to keep things under control, or somewhat under control, and the best thing you might want to do is just relax and let it do its thing. Is that guy meditating there in the middle of nowhere? Okay, fine. And the best thing you might want to do is just relax and let it do its work. But it can be unnerving, especially for a newbie, someone who just took the A2 class license. The first time he has to brake really hard on this, like this, and the brakes are pretty damn good, it will scare him. It will be scary. Look at this kid. Oh man, careful. What we have here, we have trip A, trip B, total kilometers, and that's it. Very simple dash. Very, very simple dash. Says Leoncino here. It's a very pretty, very simple dash. Bare minimums. The whole bike is, all of it is bare minimums. The handlebars are a bit weird once you grab hold. Is that a Ferrari? It is a Ferrari. It's a 360? No, it's a 430. Cool. Cool machine, bro. Cool machine. So, as I was saying, the handlebars are a bit weird. They're not straight. They're like very, like that bike that just went through it. They're very classical, like bent inwards and slightly down. Not that much, but enough that when you grab hold of them in the first few kilometers, you do feel, hey, this is different. And it is. But it's very slight. It's just that, oh, it feels like a classical bike. As soon as you hop onto it, you feel, yeah, this is like old school. Just because of this very, very slight inclination to the handlebars. Wait, hang on, I just saw a little button. Oh, there's a button to turn off the ABS. Have to turn it a bit. I probably have to be stopped for this to work, because it's not doing anything now. Yeah. So there is a button to turn off ABS. Why on earth would you want to do that on this bike? This would be super useful on the TRK, on the V-Stroms, etc. Not here. What the hell is that guy doing with his arms? Stretching, exercising, signaling something. Timeout? See if I can. Oh, yep. ABS is off. It's actually blinking. On, off, on, off. Let's press it again. Again. Oh, you have to be stopped for it to engage again. But I don't get, why would you want to turn off ABS on this bike? It's not an off-road bike, it's not a hooligan bike. So you're not going to be wanting to do, sorry, you're not going to be wanting to do skids on this, because it's not that kind of bike. I don't get the point of including this button at all. Okay, yeah, skidding works fine on this one. It's fun, but why? I'm honestly confused as to why include this. It's something they had to deliberately put in here. Not something that just came out of the box and they just went, let's put this button here. No. It's useful. Okay, yeah, it's useful. But not on this one. I'm really confused about this one. For the rest, well, this is a cheap bike. I'm not really sure on the price right now. Should have been on screen a while ago. But it's a Benelli, and Benelli does relatively cheap bikes because you can't really compete on the high end with the Hondas and Suzukis, etc. It's not going to happen. It's a good way to lose money trying to compete with those. And the bike looks gorgeous. It looks very, very, very well built. Where you start to see where they cut some corners is, well, maybe some of the suspension design wasn't as careful as it should, because it's a bit not sporty, but then again, it's not the point. So it's a bit of a case of, it's good enough, don't do that again, Jesus, on a bike. But for example, these buttons here, they are a bit, well, basic. Ugly would be a more accurate word. These here on the right is like, it's a hardware store button almost. It's very cheap. And some little details here and there, a few screws, but it's hard to see where they cut corners. Quality wise, it's really hard. Just a few little details here and there. For example, this handle here on the left, the lever is very, very simple. It's pretty, it seems to be well made, but the design is just about as simple as it gets, with very squared edges on the inside. It's little details here and there that you might notice that it's, whoops, my bad, the hell? Okay. Little details here and there that you might notice aren't quite perfect, but it's a very cheap bike, and you really have to be nitpicking to see these, because you can't see them normally. I mean, have you looked at this bike carefully? I'm gonna stop and show you. Just look at this. Hey, look at an NMAX, cool. You tell me this isn't a very, very pretty bike. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't like these test drive stickers, and with the green together with the red makes it very ugly, because the tank is supposed to be fully red, full cherry red. But well, Ramimoto needs its advertisement, so here it is. And a little detail of the lion again, because it looks very cool. It looks very cool. This is a pretty, seriously pretty bike. Kajirino for some reason doesn't think so, but I think this is a gorgeous little bike. So to wrap it up, what is this bike? Well, this bike is a very simple, very uncomplicated machine, built for your casual city riding and your occasional sightseeing ride, your occasional ride. Just go for a little ride, go see the sights, just go for a ride, basically. That's what it is. It's not for sports, it's more to be seen, basically. If you go at a more enthusiastic pace, it'll still work. In a more aggressive pace, not that much, but that's not the point. The point of this is a relaxed, comfortable, easy ride. And that's exactly what this is, an easy rider. It's very light, very simple, very easy to go. More than enough power for your occasional overtake, for cars going at 20 kph for no good reason at all. Easy to maneuver at low speeds. Good brakes. Everything about this one is just right, you know. It's never too much or too little, just right. Suspension is very comfy, very nice indeed. The seat is comfortable. After 1 hour I'm finally feeling some on the butt, but I'm very sensitive. I have a very sensitive butt. Wait, that did not come out right. I'm very sensitive to uncomfortable seats. Yes, that's what I wanted. I'm very sensitive to uncomfortable seats. And after 1 hour, this one's finally starting to hurt me, so it's good. So that actually means it's pretty good. What the hell? Let's go around. All of this because of that? Come on, I can go through that. Let's jump ahead. If it's just that section, I'm just going to jump the red. It's just that section, I'm just gonna go. I don't give a fuck. I can easily fit through here. Tough. No one saw that. That was an obvious green light. Okay, so it's basically for what I'm doing now. Easy riding, relaxed, having some fun but never too aggressive. I love this engine note. Sounds lovely. By the way, it has absolutely zero wind protection at high speeds. Say the top speed of this is about 170 kph, 170 is about the top speed. Maybe downhill go a bit faster, but if you lean forward it'll go a lot faster because there is zero wind protection. This has no wind protection at all. Sometimes there's a little deflector here which aids a little bit. Nothing. So at high speed you're literally hanging on to the bars so you don't get thrown back. It's very uncomfortable. Up to 120, 130 it kind of works. Over that, never mind, it's just going to be way way uncomfortable. It's a pure naked machine. The upside of this is that the air that hits your helmet is completely clean. So it's completely parallel to your direction of travel with no turbulence whatsoever. So in that regard, that's great. A little bit more of wind protection would be good, but then again, that's not the philosophy of this. This is less is more. That's the whole philosophy of this bike. And it's not for those speeds. It's not a sports bike. It is a bike to do exactly what I'm doing here, which is a casual, relaxed ride. Kinda. I don't do casual, relaxed rides, to be honest. But yeah, that's what this beautiful, beautiful bike is. That and cheap. It's a cheap bike. Very, very well built. It's actually amazing how well built this is for the price tag. Absolutely gorgeous, which is also amazing considering the price tag. With good components, good brakes, great suspension, a good seat, good riding position. It's very low. I'm a bit cramped here because it's very low, but it's fine until you reach like 2 hours of riding straight. Then you'll feel a bit cramped. You can stand up a bit. Ah, that felt good, but it's not really the way you should be riding this. It just doesn't quite work. But then again, no, it's stupid, but it works. Then it's not stupid. But you can at least move around a little bit. But it's a small, short bike, very cheap, very well built. Seriously, I can't believe how well built this looks, at least. But the quality here is really, really good. Really good. Much more than you'd expect from this price tag. And yeah, under that, this is a great bike. Really good bike. Surprisingly good bike, to be honest. I was expecting less. I was honestly expecting less. I was expecting a pretty bike that just wouldn't quite work with the sluggish engine the TRK has and the weird brakes. I was expecting less. Okay, no, this is just as it should be. The engine is fast enough, faster than the TRK, and I'm pretty sure it's the same engine, but this one's so less weighty that it works much better. Has much better brakes than the TRK. Just brakes are fine, powerful, easy to dose. Everything about this bike is easy and nice. So yeah, a very good bike for a very, very tempting price. And so that's it. In the middle of Sintra, in traffic, in a place where not even bikes can filter. I think this one's small enough to be able to do it, maybe. Cage are out. As soon as I can press the button. The loveliness of a motorcycle. I can fit anywhere. Eat my dust.